All right, here we go. Aloha, my name is Alan Smith and I am the board chair for Kauai Island Utility Cooperative. Mahalo to each of you for joining us at our annual meeting. This is our 20th annual meeting, marking our 20th year as a cooperative. I am joined today with my fellow board members, Vice Chair Janten Prugenkate, Board Secretary Calvin Morishige, Board Treasurer Peter Yukimura, Board Member Dee Crowell, Board Member Janet Cass, Board Member James Mayfield, and Board Member Phil Tapian. As you know, these directors are elected by you and are accountable to you, the members of KIUC. Also with us today is KIUC's President and Chief Executive Officer, David Bissell. Our cooperative's legal counsel, Laurel Liu, and our Chief Financial Officer, Carissa Jonas. Before we go any further, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All together, I pledge
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America,
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and
and
justice
justice for all. Thank you. Our first order of business today is the approval of the July 21st, 2021 annual membership meeting by our board of directors. I entertain a motion to approve these minutes from one of our board members.
Mr. Chair, move to approve the minutes of the July 21st, 2021 annual membership meeting.
Thank you, Dee Crowell.
I second.
Oh, thank you for the second, Jimmy Mayfield. You should have a copy of the minutes before you, board members. Do I have any discussion on the minutes? There being no further discussion, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, please signify by saying nay. The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Thank you. As you may remember, prior to COVID, we would hold these meetings in person and share a chili and rice dinner with the attendees of our annual meeting, along with a bag of rice and other gifts for you to take home. Unfortunately, this marks the third year we've been unable to meet in person. For the past 3 years, KIUC has made a donation of rice to each of the 2 food banks here on Kauai in lieu of our annual chili and rice dinner. We thank both the Kauai Independent Food Bank and the Hawaii Food Bank Kauai branch for their incredible service to our community during this time of COVID. And we hope the KIUC donation will help our families in need. Now to get to our presentation. We didn't receive any questions from our members, so after the presentation, we'll go directly to our door prize random drawing. So let's go to the presentation, which has been pre-recorded by David Bissell.
Mahalo, everyone, for joining us tonight as we review highlights from 2021, a remarkable year for KIUC. It's a year when we hit the target on some important metrics and goals that have benefited our co-op in many ways. We'll also bring you up to date on current activities and projects at your cooperative. Our 2021 annual report was just published, and we've highlighted 3 key accomplishments for the year. We posted our best renewable percentage to date and led the state in renewable generation. Our reliability exceeded the goals in our current strategic plan and also led the state. Because of our high percentage of renewables, Kauai's rates were the least affected by skyrocketing oil prices during 2021. Let's start with the first targeted goal we hit, progress on getting to 100% renewable generation. In 2021, we ended just shy of 70% renewable at 69.5% by using both utility scale and rooftop solar, hydro, and biomass. We essentially met our strategic plan goal of 70% by 2030, 9 years early, and beat the state of Hawaii's current mandate of 30% renewable by more than double. Our renewable generation was the most of any island in the state in 2021. Here you can see how our renewable generation portfolio has grown and evolved since 2010. Blue on the chart represents hydropower. These plants are legacy plantation hydro systems which are important for firm baseload power and have grown slightly since 2010 due to the expansion of hydros owned by Gay and Robinson. Biomass was added in 2016, as you can see in the green area on the chart. Biomass represents about 11% of our island's energy and also contributes to firm baseload power generation operating both day and night. Solar, shown in yellow on the chart, is making the biggest impact to date from both large-scale and rooftop systems, which have grown tremendously since 2013. This map shows you where all our renewable generation resources, solar, biomass, and hydro, are located. No matter where you live, each area of our island is contributing to our renewable present and future. The next big renewable project we are pursuing is the West Kauai Energy Project. We'll talk more about that later. Rooftop solar, or distributed generation, is making a big contribution to our renewable progress. We currently have more than 40 megawatts of distributed solar on residential and commercial rooftops on Kauai. This graph shows you how much rooftop solar has grown over the past 10 years. By the end of last year, there were more than 6,000 rooftop systems installed. Our members naturally want to know about rates and how renewables are impacting their rates. As we've increased the amount of renewables on our system, our rates have stabilized to a great degree. This is largely because our renewables are purchased via fixed pricing on long-term purchase power arrangements. These prices will not go up for 20 or 25 years depending on the specific agreement. Many of our utility scale solar projects are priced lower than the average cost of fossil fuel. In 2021, that price difference was significant. This not only helped us keep rates increases relatively small in 2021 when the price of oil was spiking, it will also create a downward pressure on rates over time. And we see that trend on this slide. We expect this trend to continue for the next 20 years or so, where our costs of generation are not as impacted by fossil fuel as many of the other utilities in the state, and the nation for that matter. Kauai's high renewable percentage has helped buffer extremely high oil prices over the past year. This graph plots the increase in rates by month for each of the islands between July 2021 and July 2022. As you can see, Kauai's rates, represented by the black line, have increased roughly 10%, while on the other islands, typical rate increases were from 30 to almost 50%. On top of that, for the first time in our 20-year history as a co-op, KIUC's rates are now the lowest in the state, and they have been for the past 3 months. It's quite an accomplishment when you consider that when we became a cooperative in 2002, our rates were nearly 70% higher than the rates on Oahu. The lifting of many COVID restrictions in 2021 and the return of tourism helped us achieve improved financial results over 2020. Electricity use was up 5% and revenues were up 9%. Our total revenue in 2021 was $158.8 million. Our renewable generating sources increased production and replaced more than 17,000 additional megawatt hours of fossil fuel generation. And our members received $1.7 million in patronage capital retirements because of these favorable financial results. This chart shows you where our operating dollars were spent in 2021. The purchase of renewable fuel commodities, hydro, solar, and biomass comprise the largest share of our costs, with a combined total of 24.8%. A little more than 5% of our revenues was net margins. For an investor-owned utility, that would translate to profits. For a cooperative, it translates to equity that's distributed back to our members proportionately based on the amount of electricity purchased. As just mentioned, the board of directors retired 1.7 million of these net margins, what we call patronage capital, back to you, our members. You may remember that when KIUC was formed in 2002, we started with 0% equity as we were formed using 100% debt financing. Now, approximately 20 years later, we have nearly 35% equity. And this is very healthy for our cooperative and puts us in a great position with potential lenders. Looking forward to 2023 and beyond, KIUC anticipates that inflation and higher interest rates will likely continue to increase our costs of doing business. We also anticipate that endangered species compliance costs will continue to rise in the coming years. On a sales side, we are projecting growth levels that are low to modest. So combining relatively low sales and increasing costs, it's likely that we will be filing with the Public Utility Commission for a base rate increase sometime in the second half of 2022, with any rate adjustments impacting member bills in the second half of 2023. At this time, we have not determined the amount of any increase. We're still doing analysis, and it should be noted that base rates have not increased for KIUC members since 2009. Many more activities and accomplishments to highlight from 2021, and you can find them in the 2021 KIUC Annual Report, which can be found on the KIUC website, kiuc.coop, in the About section. If you can't access it on the website, call us and we'll be happy to mail you a copy. The annual report will also be printed in your fall issue of Currents magazine. We'd now like to update you on some important projects. First, the West Kauai Energy Project. This will be a pumped storage hydro facility with solar. Solar power will be used to pump water uphill during the day for release overnight, and other times is needed for hydroelectric production. This is a very important project and will bring us to nearly 90% renewable when it's complete. West Kauai Energy Project will also bring many community benefits, such as enhancements at Pu'ulua Reservoir for fishing, opening up new lands for Hawaiian homesteaders, and ensuring mandated stream flows in Kokea are maintained. In December 2021, the Public Utilities Commission issued a conditional approval of our power purchase agreement with AES for the West Kauai Energy Project. We will soon be publishing a revised draft environmental assessment for public comment. You can learn more about West Kauai Energy Project on KIUC's website. We continue to pursue a long-term lease for water use for our Waiahi hydro plants. In 2021, we did not use water from either the North Fork Wailua or Waikoko diversions for the hydro operation. This is because there are pending repairs to a portion of the pipeline leading to the hydro facilities. The hydro plants still produce power using water from other tributaries on the system. As required by our revocable permit, we continue to maintain the Blue Hole intake area, and we hope to make more progress on lease discussions in the coming year. KIUC has a responsibility to manage its impact on endangered seabirds, namely the Newell's shearwater, the band-rumped petrel, and the Hawaiian petrel. We spend millions of dollars each year on activities and projects that both minimize and mitigate our impact. Mitigation measures include the Save Our Shearwaters program, which rehabilitates birds after they're injured. We also fence areas where the birds nest in order to protect them from predators. Minimization measures are designed to reduce the number of line strikes, which injure the birds. Since 2020, we've spent millions on minimization measures, which include line reconfigurations and installing reflective and LED diverters to help avoid line strikes. You'll see these diverters on line spans throughout the island, as seen in the photo on the left. They're already having a positive impact and are expected to reduce line strikes for these species by up to 65%. Construction on the new Anahola Service Center is essentially complete. Once all utilities are connected, our personnel will be moving permanently from their Kapa'a location to this new facility. This is a $9 million construction project, and the work was completed by 2 local contractors, Cushnie Construction for the site improvements and Kanani Construction for the building. We're very grateful for the continued partnership with the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, the Hawaiian Homes Commission, the Anahola Hawaiian Homestead Association, and the Homestead Community Development Corporation. The Anahola Service Center will be a much improved facility to house our East Side field operations over the present Kapa'a location. In addition to moving our crew and equipment away from a tsunami impact zone, it will also provide more space for material storage, faster response for North Shore outages, and include a community meeting room for use during regular business hours. We're also working on the installation of a level 2 electric vehicle charging station in the public parking area, which will be able to charge 2 vehicles simultaneously. KIUC has weathered the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic very well, and I'm proud of our employees for their diligence and commitment to a safe and productive workplace over the past 2.5 years. Our members have adjusted well to the current payment options available, and we thank you for making these adjustments. Recently, we added Western Union as an additional option for payment. Past due balances, which escalated during the first 2 years of the pandemic, have been reduced significantly. We wish to thank the many community partners such as KEO, Catholic Charities, and the County of Kauai's Coronavirus Rent and Utility Assistance Program, which was administered by the Kauai Federal Credit Union, for helping in this effort. We recommend any members having difficulties keeping their account current to call us. We'll work with you on various options to bring your account up to date. Looking forward, our Board of Directors has focused attention over the past year on planning for an update of the KIUC strategic plan. Our last update was adopted in 2016, and much has happened since that time. We've accomplished or made progress on many of the goals that were included in the 2016 plan. The board will be seeking members' input on what should be included in the plan, so keep your eyes out for more information on that process in the next couple of months. Thank you for your attention tonight. Also, thank you to KIUC's staff and to our board of directors. It's through their hard work and dedication that the accomplishments we talked about tonight are possible. Mahalo, and with that, I'll turn the meeting back to Alan Smith, our chairman. Thank you.
Mr. Bissell, thank you very much for that presentation. David Iha, please wave to the audience. I inadvertently left you out on the introductions. My bad. David Iha, our board member. Before we close, we're going to give out some door prizes. I'd like to hand it over to the chair of our Member Relations Committee, Dee Crowell, to handle this portion of the program. Dee, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This year, we again choose to get our door prizes from stores that sell groceries, knowing that for some families, that's still an important need. So we have 6 gift cards of $100 each from either Times or Safeway. We hope that these prizes are helpful to those who receive them and also to the local retailers. We have a spinning wheel loaded with all the members, with the names of all the members who registered for the webinar or called in their name as of 12 noon today. So Beth, she's got the hard job. She's got to spin the wheel.
Okay, here we go. Number 1.
Okay.
Esther Tateishi.
Yeah, sorry, my internet is getting spotty. I can't read that.
Esther Tateishi. Okay, we'll go to number 2. John Cox.
John Cox.
Number
Congratulations.
3. Tracy.
Tracy Lynn Jacinto. Micah Taniguchi. Is that it?
Yes,
Mhm.
correct.
Okay.
Was that number 4D? I believe so.
We'll have to buy another one. Francis
Taka.
Takahashi. Congratulations.
And I think we have one more. This is number 6.
I
That's
believe
right.
so. And the final winner is Randall Blake. Congratulations. Okay. Congratulations to all our prize winners. We'll be getting in touch with you by either phone or email to arrange delivery of your prize. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, D. Kroll. Thank you, Beth. In closing, we would like to thank you again for making the time to join us tonight to acknowledge our 20th annual membership meeting. What makes KIUC special? What makes KIUC work is your participation. Thank you, people in the audience. Mahalo to all of you for tuning in this evening. We hope that you'll engage with us as we embark on updating on our KIUC strategic plan in the coming months this year. We appreciate you and wish you all the best, especially good health in the very months to come, or the months to come. Aloha and good evening. Stay well, all of you. Aloha.
Aloha.